The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Power Trading Hour with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
And welcome all to another exciting edition of the Power Trading Hour with me, your humble, lovable, and squeezably soft host. Once more, do we go into the breach, dear friends?
The following takes place between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m.
So we've got the S&P up 17 points, the Dow up 148, the NASDAQ up 51, and we're just kind of banging around in this low 2,800 level on the S&P cash. After the bell tonight, we've got, of course, Apple at 4:30. I heard Steve Rhodes' show about where Apple could potentially go, and he asked, I guess, me to talk about that based on where the option market makers think that it will. So we will discuss that. Got a couple of emails already in the hopper for topics today. What else do we have? That's kind of it. I guess, as I said, there's no real clear signals now. Everybody's kind of looking a little too hard for them. My guess is that they will come in, they'll look rather vibrant. Now, we got down to under 94 on the dollar index. We're printing off 94.29. So it's, we're in this, we're in kind of tightening ranges, I'll put it that way, for many things. And the dollar and the markets, I think, are one of those. We're going to need something big to blow us out of that. Could it be Apple? I have no idea what they're going to say. I do know what and how people are making bets. Probably the most informed people on Wall Street are in the option market maker pits and making options on it. So we'll talk about that. I'm trying to think if there's much else to do. As soon as we get the feedback from Apple's earnings, we go hurry up and wait for the FOMC to get through at about 2 o'clock. My guess is that is where the market is going to start moving yet again. The downside is I still don't have any really good signals in the market. They just have not been coming. We continue to see, in a lot of stocks, lower highs and higher lows, and you got the weird outlier like Facebook or some of the other ones, and then you get the rest, and the rest just aren't screaming one way or the other. In fact, they're telling me to just wait for that fat pitch that I know is coming, and not get worn out by the market by then. Let's see if there's anything else I wanted to talk about. A couple other ones. A sector that everybody had written off having huge profits today. We'll get into that. And what else? I think that's enough. Let's do a little history. And then we'll get into some charts here that I think are interesting.
Then it's all just a little bit of history repeating.
And on this day in 1975, James Riddle Hoffa, one of the most influential American labor leaders of the 20th century, disappears in Detroit, Michigan, never to be heard from again. Though he's popularly believed to have been the victim of a mafia hit, conclusive evidence was never found. Hoffa's death remains shrouded in mystery to these days. The best theory was there was a friend of his named Frank. He got into, I think it was a big news, 1975 Lincoln, and drove off. Years later, this guy named Frank, I think in 2004 or 5, getting ready to die, that's the way I remember the story, told a book author that he'd taken him out to a house about 5 to 10 miles away and shot him twice in the back of the head. He told him exactly how to find the house and where he shot him. The FBI did go there, pull up the wooden floor, and found human blood at the spot that he told them he shot him. No one knows, Frank included, doesn't know what happened to the body, but he was told that they were going to take the body to a nearby mortuary and cremate it. That still is the best guess of what happened to Mr. Hoffa. It was an interesting movie. And I don't think many people know that he was born in Brazil to an American father, but his father was running a coal mine down there. And Hoffa wasn't even born in the United States, but a U.S. citizen nonetheless. But a lot of people thought that maybe since in his early days he was taught a little bit of Portuguese, that maybe he went off there to hide. But evidence says not so true. Now, they did go and try to do a DNA match, but because you use a lot of chemicals on flooring, those chemicals degraded the DNA. And, if it would have been left alone, the DNA would have been fine, but they dug it up 29 years later only to find it. Now, this Frank guy was was the first guy they dragged in. They were almost, the FBI agents at the time were sure that that was the guy. So there's a little bit more to that. Yep. Yeah, Riddle was his middle name. Anyway, on this day in 1975. So a lot of people talking about the fruit company, name of Apple, after the bell tonight. Let's take a quick look at that. Did look at options and watch them today. What else do we have? Did I get that? Okay, there we go. Now it's gone over its previous high. It did so on lighter volume. Options are showing something like about 186 to 194, 195. So they're not looking for this to break out over the July 26th high or below that 185, 186 level. So to my view of looking at this, 185 is certainly possible. That's what I would like. I may not get it. They may, you never know what the biggest problem with calling Apple is. You don't know what Buffett's going to do. Is he going to tell him that he needs more buybacks and the CEO will dutifully do it? Will he just buy more shares and run the shorts out as soon as they've shorted it? Who knows? Anyway, this has become a big bugaboo because guess what? This is the easiest way to manipulate an entire market, or at least tech market, but it has its fingers in literally everything these days. So, I'm sticking to picking individual stocks, but not Apple. Anyway, we got a lot of stuff to look at today. We will be back shortly.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters.
Many of our new listeners have heard about The Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive The Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on The Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Dave takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
And, if you have any more questions, you can always give me a call at 877-927-6648. But, I looked at maybe 100 charts from the NASDAQ and handful of S&P stocks last night. All of them are basically saying that they're looking around these levels. So option market makers really not expecting, at least today, not expecting a big move in anything, including Apple. But I think a lot of people would probably scream if it went back to 185, that'd be the end of the world. I'm getting a lot of end of the world kind of messages. And it may be just because, we're now 98 days to the next election. And I've done my best to try to kind of stay out of it. I've got kind of strong feelings and it comes possible. But I'm in the higher, lower business, not the right and wrong business, at least for this show. But sometimes my personal opinions and bias do come in. But what else can you say? Had a lot of questions on Facebook today. Like I said before, you wait 3 days and you're going to get a bounce. And the question is that bounce today have anything to do with anything other than the fact that, hey, guess what? All the shorts got wiped out yesterday that were on margin. Now there's not so much shorts selling anymore. What do you think of DC Talk cutting cap gains? I don't think it's going to go anywhere. I don't think that's much of an article right now. Another 2 years from now, I think it could be, but my guess is that we're going to, most in Washington, D.C. want to see how these tax cuts go right now before they add on any. But my guess is, if you're talking about 2 years from now into the election of 2020, yeah, you might see a small cut in cap gains tax rates. But not a whole lot, I think, is going to happen between now and the election. And after that, there's going to be much bigger things on the agenda. It doesn't look like there's going to be a lot of change in the elections, at least if they were held today. A lot of people kind of pontificating like they did before the 2016 elections, and they were wrong, and the same people are basically doing the same thing. I don't see why their predictions are going to be any different this time around. But no, I think we still, at least if as I look at the numbers today, there's not going to be a whole lot of change, mostly because the way things are probably going to go in Missouri for the senators there, and there just was never that much change in the House that I could see. But we'll look at that. This is kind of the important time because politicians get really busy, and this is kind of the warm up to September 3rd when they go ballistic for the last jog into the first week of November. So I'll have to be hunkered down to make sure that people don't get to me with their horrible political commercials, and probably would be paying a little less attention to news and a little bit more to how can I make sure and shield myself from the onslaught of what is going to be probably the most, it already is going to be the most expensive midterms that we've ever had. Okay. The news kills. Yeah. Anyway, Facebook, do I put any stock in this news is a question. And no, I think it's pretty much fake news. These guys wanted something out of these guys, and they published a unprovable story with no facts. So what does that make you think? If they had a lot of good facts, they'd go into it. Is it just anything they can do to keep people off their backs? I think the answer is true. This sector still has huge issues. We can look for both Twitter and Facebook to reappear in front of the Congress probably in September. Now that what everybody knows, what they already know, which is that these guys may be having real problems with the Election Commission. And that is, if you put an ad on a billboard and someone said, hey, I don't like your political opinion, you can be sued, and you will probably be able to prevail in that court case. The question is going to be, is Facebook or Twitter any different than a billboard? Could they say, hey, I just don't like your politics, not putting it up? And that is at least the prevailing political theory now for both Twitter and Facebook, legally compelled to take political advertising that may not jive with whatever goes on in Silicon Valley. These guys may be on a full-on assault still all the way through the elections, both from the left and the right. The left saying, we can't let those people say that, and the right saying, hey, you can't let those people not say that. For 2 years, I knew we were probably coming to this day, and that is where these guys are going to try to stand in the middle of the road. And what happens when you stand in the middle of the road? You get run down. So don't see a whole lot in that. What else do we have? Okay, had a question about laser. This is one of the ones I talked about as an IPO. And one of the things I talk about is something you should look out for, and that's always the lockup period. When you start seeing that lockup period come into view, people get to selling because guess what? They're afraid other people are going to sell. Doesn't matter whether they sell or not. They are afraid of it. And why I tend to stay out of stocks that have lockup periods coming. So Enlight, which is the name of this company, LASR, makes laser beams. I tried to contact them. No comment from them if they've ever successfully put one on a head of a shark. But that would be cool. Anyway, the lockup period is on the 23rd of October. I have played some of these stocks, but I tend to get out way ahead of that lockup period. And I also love to watch the way that they act after the lockup period or during when the lockup period goes to expire. In fact, I saw one that literally did nothing for 2 weeks after its lockup was over. And that was a good clue to me. Nobody was out there selling and blowing the stock down. It's down today, but not before. I think I made $5 on it the first time and $3 on it the second time. So if you want to be in an IPO, you want to be in it in the first half of the lockup. You want to get out after that, and then you want to watch the lockup.
The Path of Least Resistance, David White's daily market letter, gives you trade recommendations based on David's proprietary power law vector indicator that put the odds of success overwhelmingly in your favor. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price for each stock and option trade. David combines his years of trading experience along with his background in technology and computing to offer his subscribers his take on the markets on a daily basis. Every trading day by 9:30, David publishes his morning issue of The Path of Least Resistance, along with updates sent out throughout the week whenever there is new actionable trading information. All new subscribers receive a 30-day, no questions asked money-back guarantee. To sign up for David White's daily trading newsletter right now, visit the front page of TFNN.com and you'll find The Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Direction's daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Anyway, like I said, very interesting company. But, man, if you make some money in an IPO and it's not wildly covered, like, I would imagine that even of market professionals, if I brought up this ticker, I bet 90% of the people couldn't tell you what the name of the company is. You've got to watch out for this, but not, I don't carry IPOs through earnings. And like I said, generally in that first 3 months, you're going to get a lot of push in an IPO, but the next 3 months, you got to watch out for. And, as far as this, I don't know whether Mike was in this one, but you know what? Is it horrible? Now it's just back to support. But again, anytime you start looking toward the lockup date, you got to be worried. So just look at it. And of course, there's a lot of them out there like that I love. AVLR, I think, is one of them. Is that this ticker? Yeah, Avalara. But I don't know that there's any way you can buy this thing. Got down to 38.89 today. Does it get back down to this first candle? The first day it came out on the 15th of June. I certainly think $35 is a valid target for these. But, when this thing does settle, I think it'll be an interesting play. But does it settle before the lockup? Does it settle after the lockup? These things, you just have to watch them one by one and watch the filings and go through them. A lot of these stocks can be huge winners, but most people don't want to wait 3 months or 6 months. Anybody in the Tech Insider knows that I waited almost an entire year to get that huge DDD play in May. It took forever to wait for that thing to get back down to $9. And then the courage of, I think, the entire paratroopers of World War II to pull the trigger on it long. So yeah, just beware that, your patience is probably the weakest part of this equation of waiting for these stocks to set up for the big moves. And it does sometimes take an entire year for these things to work themselves out. What is the OIH? Question about oil. And, we've had a little bounce like in the OIH out here. I continue to think oil is weak for the years ahead. The only time you're going to get a bounce in these things that's significant is every time everybody thinks that there's going to be a war in the Gulf. But the rig counts still keep flooding out, and I keep on harping on this. I can't remember if I talked about it on Friday, so I will bring it up yet again. I may have. I think I went on and on about it maybe on Friday. And that was the Canadian rig count is up 12 from last week. So while we continue to kind of topped off in the U.S., the Canadian rigs, they go up as fast as they can put them up and are all summer, which means that there's probably going to be a fairly decent supply come this fall, because it doesn't take them that long to put these things up. Once they all get connected to that new pipeline, certainly going to see a lot more oil this summer. I don't see anything in this bounce other than a little short-term bounce. And I didn't look at it here. What did it do? Okay, it's down $1.19 at 68.94. But I did talk with what was it, last Tuesday? So a week ago, with our guest on the Tom O'Brien show about this. And to me, there are just so many places where if they ever get their act together, I had to laugh today because of a news article I saw where they were basically going to put a crown on Maduro down in Venezuela. And as they're ready to do it, the power went off. And for like 20 minutes, which is kind of pretty standard thing. But of course, if you're him, your power never goes off. The rest of the people, if they have to live in squalor, so be it for the great socialist, communist dreams of Western utopias. But, he's going to go. My guess is that either the Chinese or us basically go in to fill the vacuum. And at that point, somebody is going to be supplying a lot of oil to the rest of the world. Chinese probably need it worse than us, so maybe they'll be willing to pay up. They just don't have a lot of ability to project power quite yet. They're doing that over in Asia. They don't have, other than paying people off, have a big ability to do that in Venezuela. But when that Venezuelan oil comes back on, man, $35 is a complete target. Yeah, they've got money in there already, as John from Philadelphia says. I'm just wondering whether or not the Venezuela people are going to be receptive to the Chinese, or look at them as an enabler of Maduro. Gold is up $2, no big deal. Silver's up 3 cents. Platinum's up $11. Copper still well under that $3 mark, $2.83. So again, not a lot happening in that. Okay, I said we had other stocks to look at, and the ones I wanted to get to were the ones that everybody told me were dead. Dead, David. They're dead. They're dead money. They're dead money. They're not going to move. And of course, that was John Deere. But the end of the world, trade wars, dogs living with cats, real biblical kind of things, frogs, blood rain, everything out here. And of course, actually up, volume's decent on John Deere. Numbers are not that bad either. Caterpillar kind of came for the ride today. Is this the end of this downtrend on Deere? Probably not. But at the same time, the end is nigh. Calls that I've heard for probably 4 weeks now have been maybe a little overblown. Anyway, John Deere up very nicely today. It's up 5%, up $7. Let's see what else is going on here. Caterpillar also in that same vein. It's up 3% today at 144.43. Now, it got up to resistance levels at 146 yesterday, where you don't have a whole lot of resistance, but basically everybody piled on. My guess is that if you were really, really 100% sure this stock was going down, you want to be looking at the 152 level, which is this gap down from the 15th of June. So, even if you think want to be bearish, I think you got at least another week to go on things like Caterpillar and Deere. We'll be back in a minute.
Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get 'em, folks! Today, it's hard to tell if the economy is coming or going. Regardless, I want my money going in the direction I choose. If that's your stance as well, then you want to know how Everbank can help keep your money thriving just the way you want. Is growing your money a priority? Everbank is committed to a yield pledge promise to pay high yields on your checking, money market, and CD balances. Looking to diversify? Everbank ingeniously developed accessible ways to spread your money around the world into foreign currencies and even non-FDIC insured metals. And when it comes to your wealth, they bring a highly experienced and global perspective to help you manage it. Everbank's financial philosophy flies in the face of the status quo. They believe your money's performance should not be determined by today's economic circumstances, but by the drive to rise above them and create opportunities that favor your objectives. If that excites you, like it does me, call 1-855-750-4051 to find out what they can do for you. That's 1-855-750-4051. Call them today. Everbank is a member FDIC and equal housing lender.
The TAS Profile Scanner Plus, developed by John Logan and his team, is a standalone piece of software that can change the way you trade. Let the TAS Profile Scanner work for you by scanning over 5,000 financial instruments such as stocks, ETFs, commodities, futures, and Forex. Right now, you can get a 30-day free trial to the TAS Profile Scanner Plus right at TFNN.com. And when you sign up, you gain instant access to John Logan's most recent webinar, How Price, Volume, and Time Make Market Profiles So Unique. This hour-long webinar with John Logan will walk you through the most powerful features of the scanner and how you can use it to become a more successful and profitable trader. You pay absolutely nothing for 30 days while you try out this software risk-free. For more information on the TAS Profile Scanner and to get your 30-day free trial today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
And we got John from Ocala writing in. He says, like your calls at 2840-ish on the S&P cash. What do you see here? And like I said, we can just continue to consolidate in this area. There aren't a lot of good clues. I could see that pull to 2840 on the S&P cash in that range and figured that everybody would short the dickens out of it. My guess is that we are setting up to squeeze those shorts out and go test the highs. I just don't see anything that says right now. Do see a lot of stocks gaining a lot of short interest. And some of those, I think, may be the leaders in the next rally to go push up there to the 2870 highs. And at that point, I think you could make a claim of a double top. I don't like the claim right now that we've gone up to those highs than that is it. I would much rather see the market go up there and prove that it can't go above those all-time highs at 2870, what is it, 2879, then let it sit. Mohawk I have up here, which is MHK, one of Berkshire Hathaway's big holdings. Of course, surprised, but I don't know if it was a surprise or not. I kind of thought that this would be weak with home sales kind of coming down. Anyway, came down huge volume, 177, one of the bigger performers, but no volume in this. I still would like to see this thing fill about half of that gap if we're thinking that housing continues to decay. And that is that $200 mark. There's a little gap right there, and I think that would be about filling about half of that gap. And to make risk reward fairly decent, I think you kind of have to look at that $200 level is where you could first start shorting, and your stop would have to be above 215. So we'll continue to keep an eye on those. That's got to be probably the weaker part of the sectors. Okay, what else do we have? I haven't looked at MMM today. Someone posted that ticker in the den. Okay. Okay, let's go back here and look at some others. Question about some other ones out here. See if I've got them in my list. Okay. Question about Microsoft. from Ron in Boynton Beach. Boynton Beach? Boynton Beach? Maybe that's it. No big surprise that we at least came back to this gap up from earnings. That gap happened on 56 million shares. We got into it yesterday with 34.6 million shares. Today, we just have 16 million shares. So we're at support. I just don't understand trying to get into a $105 stock to go back to 110. If you can make a bigger claim for higher prices, I can't make a claim either to short this thing. It is the strongest stock in this sector, and I don't see anything. If you're long, I think you just hold it, put in a stop below, maybe like 99 bucks. I think I'd probably have to, that would probably be it if it closed under 99 bucks. But, you know, the buy was what, back in the 20s and 30s. I don't see a lot of risk reward up here at the highs. That being said, if you've been long for this thing for a while, nothing changes. Questions about Intel earlier in the day from some of my subscribers, so I would bring this up. And this dovetails into the next stock I'm going to bring up. And that is Intel and what's going on with this. I still think the Intel long-term's fine, but I don't see any reason to buy this stock until you get a permanent CEO in this sector. So just don't see much of it. Kind of dead money for a while. Wouldn't be short it, but wouldn't be long it. But my guess is a new CEO come September, it will be interesting. Okay, Qualcomm came out before the bell, kind of started the party in this sector by saying that they were going to do a buyback. But this isn't one of the buybacks where they don't buy the stuff back, that they were willing to do it with a Dutch auction. Got up to 64.66 today, pretty much holding this bounce. The buyback would be up to $67, but this is a Dutch auction, and they will buy 10 million shares. So pretty much a floor in this. Other companies that have gone this way are Boeing. And, I mean, Boeing did this, what, a couple of years ago. But this is what real share buybacks look like. Let me bring this up here just a second. Did I bring it? That is what real share buybacks do over time. $111 on Boeing back on June 27th, 2016. Here we sit 2 years later, the thing in the 374s. And I think, you know, they bought back more shares than literally anyone else as they continue to make money and buy more shares back. So you really got to watch these stocks that do get back into this feedback cycle. The more shares that they buy back, the less shares that are outstanding, the more that short sellers have to cover. And it does get back into a feedback loop, especially when you're in a cycle when things are only getting better like they had and were going to be for Boeing. So I can't say that that's what's going to happen in Qualcomm, but I would say that if you wanted to look at a prototype for Qualcomm and buybacks that actually matter, not just threats to people piling on short, which a lot of these things are. In fact, less than 8% of the shares that are ever applied or actually filed that they will buy, are actually ever bought. So less than 1 in 10 shares. If they say 10 billion, you can pretty much say 1 billion would be a miracle if they ever got that. And most of the time, even when they're wrong, 2 billion of a $10 billion share buyback. So when someone lines up and says, I'm going to do a Dutch auction for $10 billion worth of our own shares, just be very careful out there. I would never be short someone willing to speak and buy 10 billion shares all at once. So just keep an eye on Qualcomm. Do we have anything else? Someone asking about Netflix, NEFLX, NFLX. And then a question on CBS, which we'll get to when we come back to. Anyway, look at Netflix and then CBS. We'll get into the media part, the closing part of the show.
No matter what kind of trader you are, 2018 is a great time to try out a subscription to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report. Whether you just plan on diversifying your portfolio with some exposure to gold and gold mining equities, or you're a gold bull that sees 2018 as the year of commodities, now is a great time to sign up for the Gold Report. Tom O'Brien publishes his Gold Report every Monday morning before the market opens and covers a variety of topics including gold, silver, platinum, copper, the XAU and HUI, the dollar, bonds, South African rand, as well as more than 20 of the most actively traded mining equities. Start your 2018 off with a bang and sign up for the Gold Report today. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. For all the details and to start your subscription right now, visit the front page of TFNN.com and you'll find the Gold Report under Investment Newsletters. David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
I'm certain you are or strive to be one of the best at everything you do in life. It's the most common trait that we tigers and tigresses share. If you're looking to become the best of the best when it comes to managing your money, let me teach you to do what most wealth managers tell you can't be done, which is how to time the markets. I'm Steve Rhodes, author of Mastering Probability, and for the last 12 months, Timer Digest has been tracking my newsletter signals, which have earned me the ranking as their #1 market timer in the nation for the S&P 500 for the last 12, 6, and 3 months. Timer Digest also ranks me as the #1 market timer for gold as well. The fact is, markets can be timed, and I'll teach you the exact set of tools that I use that has transformed me into one of the best at what I do. Sign up for Mastering Probability today by clicking on the newsletter tab on the homepage of TFNN.com and get immediate access to workshops where I take you step by step how to use an extraordinary set of tools as well as provide great market calls too. Sign up today.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
And as we said before, I had a couple of questions about Netflix and CBS, so we'll get to those. Netflix back down on a confluence level. It's pretty wide, so it's going to be mushy. The question is whether or not you get back down to 295 on Netflix. Disappointing earnings. I don't know if you can say anything more about that. Long-term support is at 295, and that's where this thing could potentially start moving again, but it's about 10% lower on Netflix. I don't know if you can make a great deal about that. CBS, of course, their ongoing furor of what's going on with that one. It came down, of course, on Friday on Les Moonves's deal. But man, all I wanted to do is be a fly on the wall with his discussions with Letterman when Letterman was going through kind of the same thing. Would have been neat just to hear what was going on. So what do you have with CBS? A little bounce out here today. Does it matter much in the scheme of things? No, it'll be forgotten in 6 months. But the longer this goes on, the bigger problem that people have. I would ideally buy would be back on about $49, maybe a retest of this 47.36. I'm not big on buying media companies. I can't think of a worse investment than buying a TV network right now. But a lot of people don't agree with me. They're kind of on the way out. So I just, from Netflix to some of these others, the old saying is sell the sizzle, not the steak. And I think a lot of Netflix, some of these media companies, everybody sees the product. That's why it's so easy to get a little over enthusiastic about what it is. See you tomorrow for the Fed announcement. Same bat channel, same bat time. And sell before you can, while you can.
TFNN has put together the finest programming lineup each trading day, featuring some of the most knowledgeable and respected financial minds in the nation to educate traders and investors. On Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, we broadcast 8 hours a day, starting at 9 a.m. as Larry Pesavento kicks us off with Trade What You See. Tuesdays and Thursdays, we broadcast 11 hours. Get an early and healthy start to your day as Nico and Paige bring you Living a Primal Lifestyle. Then catch Andy Hecht at 5 p.m. with the Commodities Hour, following the Tom O'Brien Show. Swim lessons from TD Ameritrade Thinkorswim is now at 11 a.m., followed by Basil Chapman at 12 noon. See the TFNN program lineup via the link on the front page of TFNN.com to get a complete overview of our TFNN shows and hosts. And keep TFNN's Tiger TV tuned in on your mobile device, PC, or Mac for the latest financial news and information throughout the broadcasting day. TFNN.com, educating investors.
No matter what kind of trader you